few animals symbolize the wild heart of Europe, like the European bison, also known as the wisent. Once roaming the continent in vast herds, this massive herbivore was nearly lost forever. Today, thanks to conservation efforts, it's made one of the most dramatic comebacks in wildlife history. The European bison is the heaviest surviving land mammal in Europe. A mature male can weigh up to 1,000 kilograms, while females are generally lighter but still impressively large. Despite their bulk, bison are agile and fast, capable of running at speeds up to 40 km per hour and leaping over 3-meter obstacles when necessary. They are not solitary creatures. Females and young live in herds led by an experienced matriarch, while adult males typically live alone, joining the group during the mating season. Mating occurs in summer, usually between July and September. After about 9 months, a single calf is born, which is able to stand and walk within an hour. Wisent calves nurse for several months, but begin grazing within a few weeks. They stay close to their mothers for protection, especially from natural predators like wolves, which usually target the weak, old, or very young. However, adult bison have few natural enemies and will fiercely defend their herd if needed. European bison primarily feed on grasses, leaves, bark, lichens, mosses, and shoots. They spend much of the day grazing, consuming up to 60 kilograms of vegetation daily. In winter, they use their strong hooves to dig through snow in search of food. In some regions, wildlife managers provide supplementary feeding to help bison survive harsher seasons. Unlike deer or moose, bison do not shed their horns, which are short, curved, and present in both sexes. Their thick brown fur varies in color and density depending on the season. During spring, they shed their dense winter coat, and their appearance becomes sleeker and lighter. Though they appear calm, bison can be unpredictable and dangerous if provoked. Mothers with calves are especially defensive. Bison prefer to avoid human contact, and their senses of smell and hearing are highly developed, though their vision is relatively poor. One of the most fascinating chapters in the bison story is its near extinction. By the early 20th century, overhunting and habitat loss had driven the species out of the wild. The last wild wisent was killed in 1927. The only remaining individuals survived in zoos and private collections. All living European bison today are descended from just a few dozen individuals, a dangerously narrow genetic pool. This genetic bottleneck continues to be a concern for conservationists, as low diversity can make the species vulnerable to disease and environmental changes. Fortunately, intensive breeding programs began in the 20th century, and bison were reintroduced into protected forests and nature reserves. The Białowieża forest, straddling the border of Poland and Belarus, became the heart of bison recovery. It remains one of the most important habitats for the species. Today, bison can be found in more than a dozen European countries, including Germany, Lithuania, Ukraine, Russia, and Romania. Some herds live in complete freedom, while others are semi-wild, roaming large enclosures to mimic their natural environment. GPS tracking collars help scientists monitor their movement and health. European bison play a key role in maintaining biodiversity. As large grazers, they shape the landscape, opening up forested areas, distributing seeds, and creating habitats used by countless other species. Unlike wild boars or moose, bison do not damage trees or dig up roots, making them relatively gentle on the ecosystem. Despite their important ecological role, bison are still under threat. Habitat fragmentation, human development, and road construction limit their ability to expand. Illegal hunting and conflict with agriculture also pose risks. In some areas, bison wander into farmland, prompting debates about how best to manage their coexistence with humans. In cultural history, the European bison has deep roots. It appears in prehistoric cave paintings, medieval texts, and Slavic folklore, often symbolizing strength, endurance, and freedom. In modern times, it has become a national symbol, appearing on coins, stamps, coats of arms, and even currency. The behavior of bison is complex and fascinating. They communicate through body language, vocalizations, and scent. When alarmed, they snort or grunt, and when agitated, they may paw the ground or lower their heads. In winter, they tend to stay in denser forests, while in summer they move to open glades and meadows. Bison are excellent swimmers. They will readily cross rivers if needed, often choosing quiet, shallow spots. Their daily movements are guided by the search for food, water, and shelter, with older individuals playing a key role in guiding younger ones. While some people mistake them for American bison or even domestic cattle, the European bison is unique, physically more adapted to wooded environments, slightly taller and longer-legged, and genetically distinct. The two species cannot be considered the same, though they share a common ancestor. In captivity, bison can live over 25 years, though in the wild their average lifespan is closer to 15 to 20 years. The difference is due to the challenges of weather, predation, disease, and human-related dangers. However, even in the wild, a well-managed habitat allows them to thrive. Reintroducing bison into the wild is not as simple as releasing them into forests. It requires planning, community support, and careful monitoring. Large protected areas are essential, as bison require space to roam, breed, and form natural social structures. Scientific interest in bison continues to grow. From their digestive systems to social behavior, they offer insight into the evolution of large herbivores. DNA studies, collar tracking, and observation projects help researchers better understand how to protect them long-term. European bison are living proof that extinction doesn't have to be final. With coordinated conservation, political will, and respect for wild places, a species once reduced to a zoo population has returned to the forests of Europe. But this success story is fragile. It serves as a reminder of both the damage humans can cause and the healing we can help bring. Bison are not relics of the past, they are a part of Europe's natural future. Protecting them is not only about saving a species, it's about preserving a piece of the wild world that still belongs to us all.